Good morning and great to have you joining us on this Tuesday morning. Canadians waking up to a new reality as Donald Trump declares a trade war on Canada with his sweeping tariffs on Canadian goods taking effect just after midnight. I'm joined live now by Federal Employment Minister Steve MacKinnon to discuss Ottawa's battle plan to help workers whose jobs could be on the line. Minister, thank you so much for making the time.
Good morning, Caryn.
I guess just to start, what supports, targeted supports, could we see from your government to help Canadians and businesses in trade-exposed industries, but also, mitigate the losses from Ottawa's retaliatory response?
Well, one thing you can be sure of is that the government will be there for Canada. One of the great things about our country is we're there for each other. We have a safety net, puts a net under people. Of course, nothing will ever replace a job, but we have nets under people to make sure that they don't fall too far, and you can expect the government in the coming days and weeks will be proposing additional measures to protect and target those who've been most affected by this really unjustified action.
But just be specific for us, because, Canadians are feeling unnerved this morning. What supports are going to be there day one, day two, day three?
Well, right now, of course, Canadians can count on a robust employment insurance system. That system will see improvements. Better access, perhaps better duration, other measures that we are going to be proposing to put in place that put that net under Canadians. And at the same time, the government will be fighting back ferociously against these unjustified tariffs, ill-considered tariffs, tariffs that, yes, will hurt Canada, but will hurt the United States as well. Auto workers in Michigan and steel workers in Pennsylvania, they cannot count on the kinds of supports that Canada will have in place to protect its workforce. And American consumers, they're going to be paying a lot more for a lot of things. When you think of potash, that it's planting season, where they use that for fertilizer for their crops, whether it be aluminum, 5 million tons of Canadian aluminum go to the U.S. They need that for all of their products. Those products are suddenly going to become a lot more expensive, and their businesses are going to have to cope with this. Tariffs are a really bad idea, but Canada is going to stand up for itself and respond.
You bring up the auto sector, and that sector in particular is poised for disaster by its own estimation. It says following the implementation of these tariffs, the industry could collapse within a week. Is your government prepared to recall Parliament and consider a pandemic-style bailout for Canadian workers and businesses?
Well, no less than the CEO of the Ford Motor Company has said that these tariffs will cripple the North American car industry. The worst idea you can put in place for North American automobiles, U.S., Canada, and Mexico, vis-a-vis the German competition, the Chinese competition, other car competitors around the world, is to put in place tariffs. So Canada will have a robust series of responses. We talked about workers. We will absolutely be putting in place measures to help businesses as well. Those things will be put in place, and the government has all of the tools that are required. Of course, Parliament is required to come back by March 24th. This Sunday, we will have a new Liberal leader, very soon a new Prime Minister, and that person will have to decide whether to recall Parliament or not, or have Canadians make the ultimate choice, which would be a general election. We know there's going to be a general election in 2025, and Canadians will get to have their say.
But in your estimation, can we afford to wait till the 24th? Do you think when that new leader, whoever the new leader is, announced on Sunday, do you think they should recall Parliament?
Let me be really clear, because I want to be reassuring for folks. The government has already, I as Minister of Employment, already possess the tools and the flexibility required to respond vigorously in support of our workers. The government has a number of tools that it can use in addition to responding very decisively to these tariffs, that it can use to help businesses if it's required. But the other thing to, I think, emphasize is that as bad as this could be, and indeed, I don't think we should be sugarcoating that today, this will not be like we saw, for example, in the pandemic, where overnight the entire economy was shut down.
But entire sectors of the economy could be shut down over this. The auto sector, it is the backbone of Canada's most populous province. It is saying that
Absolutely.
It could collapse within a week. Are you really telling, Canadians?
It could freeze up within a week.
Yeah,
yes.
So are you really telling Canadians whose jobs are on the line that, their parliamentarians don't deserve a say in Ottawa's response.
No, what we're saying is that there will be very concrete measures proposed to support those workers, to come in aid of those workers, and where required, to come in aid of the businesses that underpin all of those jobs. We're very conscious of the importance of the auto sector, specifically to Southern Ontario, and the government will be very, very decisive in terms of its actions.
Okay, Minister, I have to leave it there. I'm out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you making the time for the conversation.
Thank you for having me, Caryn.